Fargo Famous, we've got Natalie Sparrow from Natalie Sparrow Management here today. Hello, Natalie.
Hello.
I'm so excited. We have been wanting to do this one for a while. I've known you, 6 years?
Possibly.
Because you get around everywhere in the community now. You are a very well-connected person. You have been around for a long time. Are you from Fargo originally?
Well, I've been here longer than where I grew up. I actually grew up in Northwestern North Dakota along the Montana and Canada border.
So you're a Midwestern girl, though.
I
What
am.
What brought you to Fargo?
College.
College?
NDSU. Mhm.
Oh, okay. And so did you get your degree there?
Studied fashion design
Fashion design?
and theater.
Well, what a great fit for you. So
Right.
you have been involved in so many different things over the year. You are one of the hardest working people I know, right? So,
I don't know about that. That could be debatable.
well, I mean, you, in addition to running your multiple businesses, you also part-time, I think, do the airport thing that you just came from, right? How many years have you been doing that?
Longer than I really ever wanted to, but 4 years in July.
Yeah,
It was
that's been a great fit for you because you're a jet setter.
yeah, little side gigs I can fly for free.
Exactly, right? I mean, do you spend more time outside of Fargo than in Fargo, or where do you spend the majority of your time?
Pre-COVID, I was gone way more than I am now.
Yeah.
A little bit more staying at home, keeping my feet grounded just so that we can focus on doing some things, more things in the community.
Well, and COVID really shook things up for you. But so, what is it that you do exactly? Why don't we make it clear? You are a talent. What do you describe it?
I'm a model and talent agent. I represent models, actors, influencers as well, and makeup artists. And then we train and develop them. We get them experience here in the local market, although it used to be where we would just develop them in the local market with experiences, whatever commercials we could get, and then get them into the bigger markets. But we actually have now national commercials that we work on, global commercials, different fashion shows, print work, e-commerce, which is kind of like catalog work for website and stuff. So I still develop, but we're doing a lot of work here in Fargo that we really don't have to leave all the time anymore.
Now, you are the person in Fargo for this, aren't you? I mean, who else is there? Anybody? You have any competition? You don't need to name names or anyone, but I mean, I don't think I've ever run into anybody who does talent agency in Fargo, North Dakota.
Technically, there's another business I think still. But doing what I do in the capacity of what I do, I'm the only person in the state of North Dakota that does what I do.
So how did you get started? Obviously, so you went to school for theater
I did.
and fashion.
Yes. School was not my jam. Took me about 1,000 years. I was like Tommy Boy. And
a lot of people go to school for 8 years. Yeah, they're called doctors.
My sister quotes me on that all the time.
Yeah.
So school wasn't a great thing for me. I was planning on moving to LA to become famous.
Yeah.
And I was like, either it's going to be a fashion designer or actor or whatever happens first. And then I fell in love and stayed here. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? Well, one thing I didn't want to do was be normal. I wanted to do something that was like, what is different? What is unique? And my professor actually helped me get started. Her name is Dr. Robin Williams, and she was like a pivotal point in my life that changed the complete trajectory of what I would do in life. And I never thought I was smart enough to be a business owner. So, because my dad was an entrepreneur, but he was like this big genius mechanic and engineer, and so I thought you had to be smart like him. So thankfully, I married an accountant. So
So he runs the numbers.
Yeah, I didn't have to be as smart as I thought I had to be.
Yeah.
And I started out as an image and wardrobe consultant, and then in time I was trying to get my foot in the somehow to become famous, and then I started choreographing things, and I started producing pageants, and I was like, how can I get my name out there? How can I be still involved in the industry that I loved? And it just accidentally came, like one of the board members that are on one of the events that I assist with and volunteer with is called the Christmas Gift Fashion Show. And the board member, that's a very long time friend of mine now, her name is Jody Spaeth, and she actually was like, you should start a model and talent agency. And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know why, but I thought that was my way of becoming famous, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that would be my in to get to know all the bigwigs and then I could do my thing. But Anyway, so I was like, sure, let's do it. And I tried to,
And that was how many years ago?
that was 20, would have been 20, I know, 22 years ago.
Okay, so like 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right
yeah,
after my
yeah.
son was born, right before my son was born, my first son. And I just kind of fell in, there's so many things that just fell in the right place for me where we didn't have Google in those days, believe
Yeah.
it or not. In 2001, we did not have Google. I'll never forget
Yahoo.
the first time somebody said they Googled me. It was a teenager. I was sitting there interviewing her to become a model. And she's like, I Googled you. And I looked at her mom. I was like, what does that mean? So weird to think about that now. And so I started the agency, 2001. And it just exploded. And
Yeah.
it's been highs and lows. It's been really difficult. And then since COVID, like you mentioned, was awful.
Yeah.
Because everyone else's business is bounced back for the
Yes.
most part.
Yes.
In general, the entertainment industry, the film, the television, all of that on a national level was affected. The problem with Fargo that was harder to bounce back is the budgets are tighter. We're much more conservative here. And
Yeah.
the first things to get cut are talent, commercial marketing.
Of course.
And especially the other part of my job is makeup artist. So I
Yeah.
work on set as a makeup artist. And so that was, again, one of the few things that was cut. Although there's a time where I was getting hired as the makeup artist and I was making, I was doing actually more successful doing that because when I work as an agent, I only make 20%. So
Yeah,
so much,
yeah.
I was like, good, this is what got me through COVID. So it actually helped that I was doing a lot more makeup artist work during the times of tough times.
Well, that is amazing. And that's only from 2001. There's so much more to talk about, but we are done. I told you the segments, they go very quick. So that's the Fargo Famous segment. Coming up next, we are going to talk Fargo Fun. We've got the Christmas gift to talk about. But first, we're going to listen to some music. We've got Cyndi Lauper with Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Don't go nowhere.